Hello everyone, it's me, I'm back again. So, it has not been too long since my last Minion Rush video, but we are already back today because we have some crazy stuff to go over. So, in my last few videos I've been showing off some beta costumes for Minion Rush and you guys have been asking me exactly how I got access to these. Today I'm going to be showing you everything. I'm going to be showing you everything I have and I'm also going to be breaking down how we got it. Because it's not simple, but it does make sense. So, basically, this is not a beta version of Minion Rush, this is the 1.1.0 update which was released back in 2013. Now, we got this data through a version called 0.0.3, which obviously was before Minion Rush was released. It turns out this data is from the Cacao version which was released over in Korea. So, how this data is compatible with this version of the game, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys everything that is unique about this version right now. So, if we go over our costumes here, we can see that we have the Vampire Minion. We already know who the Vampire Minion is, however, this was not released in 1.1.0. This should not be possible. This costume did not release until 2 updates later. So, it being here now, confusing, not a massive discovery, let's move on. Masked Magician, this is something crazy, I already made its own video on this, but yeah, this is essentially a very early version of the Magician Minion that is technically more accurate to how he appears in the Despicable Me movies, so that's a pretty neat discovery. Again, this was never released, this was never seen in any version of the game that has ever been public, so this is a pretty big deal. Dancer Minion we already know of, the only difference here really is that the eyes do not have the little eyelids down when it's doing its dance, very small discovery. Same goes for the Vacationer Minion as went for the Vampire Minion, where it was not actually ever available in this version, hence why it doesn't have any original animations. Mariachi Minion has very different animations, as we can see. No sound effects, we don't have that. But yeah, his animations here are nothing like how they turned out in the final game. They're a lot more jarring, they're a lot more rough, and also his guitar doesn't load properly. It just doesn't fit, but that's what you get with early stuff. Ninja, no difference there. Knight, another version, another character that was never originally seen in this version. We never had the Knight minion in this version of the game, so it looks exactly the same as how he released, however, but again, no original animations for him just yet. Maze Minion, no difference. Tortilla Chip Hat Minion, this is interesting. Look at this dude's hat. It is huge, alright? If we equip as the costume real quick and go into the lobby, look how massive it is! So this is different. This is very, very different to how he turned out in the final game. They obviously shrunk his hat down a lot. I don't know why it was so huge in the beta, but I guess it was pretty huge. So, I mean, that's a pretty cool discovery. No difference with the Mom Minion. Pink Baker obviously was the biggest discovery here because we already knew about this one's existence through one YouTube video that existed, but we now have access to it in its full force, so that is pretty cool if you ask me. We've already been over this one, don't need to tell you about it again. Surfer Minion is a similar situation to the Mariachi Minion, not any differences to the actual costume, no differences to the animations, but again his prop doesn't load correctly. As you can see, it's all messed up here with the physics. I don't know how we would fix that. I'm not going to try and fix that because the whole point is that this is beta stuff, so it's not going to be finished. No differences here, no differences here, no differences here, big difference here. So the Snorkeler Minion looks completely different, and I mean completely different to how he turned out in the final game. As you can see, his little shorts are hardly textured at all, they're very low quality. I think there was a slight change to the shorts in the final version of the game, don't really remember. His snorkel is on the other side of his face. If you look at the final costume, it is actually on the other side of his face. And his hair is Kevin's hair. Why they did this, and additionally why they scrapped this, is something I don't know. And I don't think we will ever get the answer to. Pretty neat little costume here. Girl Minion, another costume that was never in 1.1.0. Same with the Hunter Minion, same with the Grandpa Minion, and same with the Partier Minion. So, those are already differences there. So I'm going to do a little bit of gameplay with both the Snorkeler Minion and the Tortilla Chip Hat Minion, because I want to talk you guys through. I forgot to mention, because these are from the beta, they are not fully compatible with 1.1.0, so some of the animations are a little bit messed up and do make the game lag horribly, but it's fine. So let's have a little talk, shall we? So basically, I can't actually disclose to you guys how we came onto this data. I will say that it was not me who found it. I am simply accessing it, okay? So with this all being very old stuff, like this is from like, I think the data actually was from 2012. I don't think it was from 2013. This was from before the game released. You know, I don't actually think we're gonna get in any sort of trouble because it's like, this stuff is very ancient, you know what I mean? It's like, Game Loft probably doesn't care. They've got bigger fish to fry. Forgot about this, sorry, ignore that. But yeah, so I don't think it's a problem that we have this stuff. But yeah, Minion Rush, again, this is one of the... Did I just crash the game? We are back on the game now, sorry about that everyone. Again, these are beta costumes, you know, these are beta assets that the game isn't used to and the game doesn't really recognize. So, you know, there's no wonder really that these things crash the game. But that's enough gameplay of that one. Let's switch to the Tortilla Minion. He seems a little bit more stable, to be fair. He was more complete. So as I was saying, we shouldn't really be any sort of trouble for finding this stuff. But what I will say is that, you know, I think this is why Minion Rush fascinates me, is because it's like, this game has so much weird beta content, so much strange development history, that I find it utterly fascinating. So the fact that we found this is probably one of the coolest discoveries ever, and by the way, look at how that clips through his hat. Like, I love the unfinished nature of all this stuff. I find it really neat. So I do believe, again, reinforce the fact that I do not find these things and I do not distribute these things, but I do believe this has now leaked. I do think there is a way to get this version publicly. So if you guys want to go hunting for that, I can't exactly stop you, but legally I can't encourage it. You know, it's like, I don't think you guys should go and find this, but if you really want to play it, I'm sure it's out there somewhere. But, so, unfortunately, we are not able to access any gameplay elements from the betas. That's the one thing we don't really have access to. Costumes are a little bit different because we already understand the DNA of how costumes are coded in Minion Rush and how the game recognizes them, how the models link to the textures, that sort of thing. We, as a community, understand that. Also, I have to do the annoying tilt thing again. I'm so sorry. I know it looks awful in the video. But yeah, so it's like we sort of already understand the generics of like how we get this stuff to work when it comes to the cosmetic Minion Rush costumes. But again, gameplay stuff, I doubt we'll ever see beta gameplay outside of those trailers, if you guys remember, from like was it 2012 or 2013? That one wasn't even my fault. That's just the physics of these unfinished costumes I can't do anything about, but I'll take an L, But yeah, it's stuff like this that reinvigorates me to make more Minion Rush content, because it truly proves that, like, even though, oh my god, even though this stuff is from years and years ago, we are still finding new stuff to look into, and we are still finding new stuff to dissect, and I find that to be really interesting, you know. Plus, we have the game's huge update just around the corner. And I am very, very excited for that. I have no doubt that we'll get a few new Minion costumes in the meantime, before that, which I will 100% be covering. But yeah, I doubt it'll be long, really, until we find more cool Minion Rush stuff. I mean, again, we are actually actively on our way to finding the, you know, getting our way into the cow version of the game. Again, that Korean version I mentioned earlier where this data comes from. Because it's known that that version actually has some very unique gameplay elements, like there's something called carts that you can send to your friends, there's a different menu UI, the shop supposedly looks a bit different, so that would be really neat to find, and we've already found the data and the APK for it, and we've already found a way to get the servers up and running again. The only issue we have is that we can't currently get past the login screen. We've tried a lot of things already to get past that login screen, and we've not been successful. So let's end this video off by beating El Macho here, alright? El Macho beaten by El Tortilla. Oh, I got my controls wrong. You've got to be kidding me. That's so embarrassing, bro. you know, again, a lot of people have said this recently. There is an argument to be made. I am just not good at this game. Like, yeah, I've got the world record in it, but I'm just objectively pretty rubbish at this game. But, you know, you guys are always going to troll me and bully me no matter what I do. You know, I can be the first person to cover beta content, and you guys will still dog on me for missing an upload 3 years ago. But you know, whatever, I guess. Anyway, there we go. El Macho is beaten, and I will be ending the run here. So, let me know what you guys think of this beta stuff. I think it's all very, very interesting. And again, I do not doubt that in the coming weeks, maybe the coming months, we'll have more stuff like this to show you guys, because it turns out there is just an infinite pile of this kind of stuff. So if you guys have enjoyed this, please do leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Please do subscribe. This is something I don't push enough. I hardly ever say it, but like and subscribe, please. I should always mention this at the start of the video, or whatever. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time in a bit.